Hey everyone, welcome back, and for this video let's have a little fun. I'm just gonna draw one eye and see if you guys can figure out who the eye belongs to or who this person is. And in the process I'll talk about, of course it is a drawing video, so I'll be talking about how we can draw and shade an eye, but let's just see if you guys can figure out who it is. And I guess it depends on if I'm able to do a good job. If I am able to, you guys should be able to recognize this. Alright, so for this video, I'll be using, I'll be using a 2B, 4B, and I might use a stump. So let's see what happens. And of course, my little kneaded eraser here. All right, so I'm just gonna start sketching. I'm gonna use the 2B first. Let me make sure that I can fit everything in frame. So I'm just gonna rough out the length of the eye first. All right, so that's a good size. Okay, so right now I'm just gonna sketch in the overall shape of the eye. I think this one's a little bit too easy for you guys, right? Okay. So let's see, eyeball here, and then here's the corner of the eye. So very loose, just kind of keep it, keep sketching, keep moving around. In general, a lot of unnecessary lines kind of, but it actually gives you a lot of point of reference as you're drawing. So it is useful. Like here, I'm drawing the angle right here to the eyebrow. So I actually draw a little line like that so I can see, so you can measure. Very useful lines. There's a little bag here. Some creases. Let's see, let's draw in some crease here. And here's the nose. This part's always very tricky. Okay, the eyebrow. Well, it should be easy to recognize if I draw this correctly. If not, then it'll be kind of hard, right? Alright, I think so that's the overall shape. So let me start shading, and I'm going to use, okay, I'll stick with the 2B. Since I am drawing, this is kind of large, for one eye. So I should be able to put a lot of details in it. Okay, so that's the pupil, and then here's the highlight. I'm just going to put a little ball right here. Just shade around this. A little bit darker on the inside here. So for this one, the lighting looks like it's straight on, so it's not as interesting. It doesn't have the dynamic lighting. But I should be able to get a nice little eyeball out of this though. So this 2B is just so light. I feel like I'm taking forever to draw something. It's always like slightly darker on the bottom right here. Okay, and then, this is pretty light. So right here in the corner of the eye, this part's actually dark, even though it's the white of the eye. Usually, like this part is whiter, and then usually one of the other side is a little bit darker. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're sketching, because if you keep both of them white, sometimes it looks a little off balance. All right, I'm just gonna, all right, let's keep going. I'm just gonna add another shading to it, and then I'll switch to the 4B because it's really light. So highlight here. So very loose, and I'm not cross-hatching much right now. So I'm just kind of going in one direction. Later on I come back to it. I can cross-hatch later. And again, very angular. So if I see like say like a patch right here that needs to be darker, I'm just gonna just drawing a little, almost like a little bar, as I'm shading a bar. Okay, so highlight here. I don't see any eyelashes here. Eyebrow. All right, so enough of this 2B, because it's not, I feel like it's like pushing on the gas pedal and you're not getting much. That's kind of how I feel sometimes. All right, so here's the 4B. And I might switch to a 6B eventually, just to get a little bit more, darker lines. So I'm making everything darker now. So right here, the side, a little bit darker here, because it's round. On the edges, usually a little bit darker on the edges right here. So you start to feel like kind of like a ball shape, right? And then at top, use a little bit darker. Looks like this part's much darker. Yeah, I'm drawing with one hand because the other hand I'm holding a phone. I guess I really should get one of those little phone holders, so I don't have to hold the phone in one hand. Okay, so here, here's the gooey stuff on the. So this part's kind of red. Okay, here's some little bit of the eyelashes. All right, so let's get this really dark. Okay, I'm gonna switch to. Here's my 6B. So let me hit that. Okay, so it helps to define, okay, this is like the darkest area. Okay. So very deep here. Yeah, 6B is just so much more fun. You know what I mean? It's just like you feel like you're actually going places. So the eyebrow, adding some of the actual strands, like whatever direction it is, you can kind of go in and hit that. And you kind of shade at the same time, so it's kind of nice. Right here, there's a lot of little details. We'll fill that in as we go. It's a very loud airplane outside. Okay, all right. Yeah, 6B much better. And I might play around with a stump too. Let's see how that goes. I don't know if can you guys recognize who it is? Yeah, not yet probably, huh? The drawing's not all that accurate. So I'm just going back in. This part's much darker actually. So as I start shading dark areas, then you realize how off you are on the other shading areas. So then you just kind of keep going. Little by little, just kind of like in stages. Okay. Line here, highlights right here. All right, so let's try that. Let's come in here with a stump, and then let's try to smooth things out. Get a little bit softer shading. And if you want, let me put down the phone. You know, the kneaded eraser is really good. You just kind of like, if it's too dark in any area, just come in and dab it. And that should be able to get rid of some of it. And, you know, it's nice and soft. It just kind of lifts the graphite out, so which is nice. So I'm going to round this off slightly. So now the eyeball, just by dabbing a little bit in here, it gives us some variation. Now it feels a little bit better, right? Actually feels like the roundness of it. Okay, so yeah, I guess the stump kind of works with this. So I'm able to grab some of the areas where there is graphite, and then what you do is, you know, you just hit that, and then you get some graphite on your stump, and then when you smudge it around, you know, it's almost like shading. It's like as if you're using like a 2B pencil or something, just kind of moving things around. So underneath the eye. I mean, I generally don't like using the stump because it just feels like it's grinding. You know, I don't really care to draw accurately. And I kind of like to see the strokes actually. And that's part of the reason I don't like the stump. So when I look at other people's artwork, I always kind of like to see, you know, how is it that they drawn it, and by seeing the strokes, it really helps. You know, you can learn a lot from that. Okay. Yeah, it's been a while. Jesus. Hope I've gotten better, but from my last video, didn't seem like it. I might have gotten worse. Yeah, I've been doing a lot more digital work, learning to paint and stuff with color, which is something I haven't done, you know, even when I was in college or high school. You don't do much of painting anymore, unless you're into fine art stuff, you know. And I wasn't in any of the fine art programs. I was more into illustrations and design and things like that, and 3D stuff. As you know, that's where most of my career has been, with 3D, which is really fun, by the way. So now I'm just kind of trying to get back to drawing and doing more, hopefully traditional stuff. And then I realized how poor my skills are in those areas. So that's why I'm trying to learn how to paint in color and things like that. I'm kind of babbling a little bit. I'm kind of losing my train of thought here. So yeah, hopefully the digital painting stuff will amount to something. Okay, how does this look? I'm still kind of missing the, yeah, it could be the boring, the lighting, you know, where, because it's straight on. So it's just kind of, wow, just not as interesting. All right, but let's at least try to shade it right. Okay, so now I'm going back in, because with the stump, it just kind of messes things up. Just kind of smoothed everything out too much. So I'm gonna come in here. Yeah, this part is wrong right here. This is just, with the stump, it just kind of smooths everything out. So you generally want to come back in and just kind of hit those areas again. Just give it a little bit more emphasis. So for the little details, here's kind of the fun part. If I just kind of push in certain areas, like with the 6B, it makes it look like there's just a lot more detail than it is. Just like little blotches here and there, like here. If I hit that, or if I come in here, I know there's some highlights here. I can just dab, get rid of some of the stuff. Bring back some of the little highlights. Sometimes gives it more life. Let me try with a stump actually. Just kind of hit that. It's almost like a skin texture. All right. Still kind of missing the shine on this eye though. Pushing it a little bit harder. Maybe a little bit more. Just a couple of lines right here to show the eyebrow maybe. Yeah, you know, I'm just like you. I'm just trying to figure things out. It's not like I draw the eyes every day. So let's dab some of that off. Hopefully we can get some more variations. Okay, yeah, it's getting there, right? It's a little bit better. You know, smooth things out. It feels a little bit more organic. Just switching back and forth. Let's add a little bit more shading up here. Here, let's see, some harder areas. Deeper line down here. Okay, let's add a little bit of shading around it, just to fill in the gaps a little bit more. You know, make it, add in a little bit more composition, I guess. Okay, yeah, it's getting a little long. So what do you guys think of this? You think it's okay? Or actually, do you guys know who it is? I mean, I can give you a clue. It is a male, obviously. I don't think a female eye would have this kind of structure. Unless they're older, I guess. Right here, let's go. Yeah, I'm just having fun here, guys. I think the the drawing is pretty much done. I'm just trying to see what else I can add, and I might be overworking it. All right, so do you guys, all right, final chance to see who it is? Yeah, okay. Well, it is Tom Cruise, and here's the image that I'm using. Let's see if I compare it. It's actually okay. Right, it's not too bad. It's just, yeah, this line right here is a little stiff. That's a little too hard overall. It looks a little bit dead. But it is him, and you know, he does definitely have a very unique look. Okay, so yeah, hopefully, yeah, I might come in and clean some stuff out so that I can get a nicer eye drawing. But overall, I think it's okay. Not a lot of interesting lighting going on here, but hopefully it still looks like, you know, your generic eye. All right, so hopefully there's some tips in there to help you guys draw an eye as well. And let's see what other subject matter, you know, I'll try to find so that I can do more of these kind of drawings. All right, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.